What's going on? My name is FreerunnerX10 and welcome to a brand new video. Today we'll take a look at an early access alpha survival game called Eco. Now a quick disclaimer before I actually get into this video, this game is of course in early access alpha, its current version is alpha. Bear that in mind. Everything can and probably will change. It's not set in stone, so be careful when you're thinking about buying this. Make sure you really want to invest in this game and make sure that you are possibly going to be happy with it, bearing in mind that obviously this is an early access prototype game. Now as it stands right now, if you would like to buy an early access copy of this game, you can from the official game's website. Link is in the description below. You basically buy a package. There's various different packages for various different reasons, which give you certain things maybe on the forum or in game. But as it stands right now, the basic package is like $30–40 and you buy it, you get early access to the game and you can play the current alpha build as well as access to the beta and a free Steam key when the game comes to Steam, if it does come to Steam. As of right now, the game has been successfully greenlit on Steam, so it will eventually make its way to Steam. So what is Eco? Well, it's a survival game. Now the main goal of Eco is to stop that meteor from crashing into the planet. Now I've heard and read that it takes 30 in-game years, that's 30 real-life days for this meteor to crash into this planet and destroy it. And that's obviously the main objective, is to stop that from happening. Now, this game can be played solo on your own private server, run off your own computer, or on a public server. But I think this game is best played with a group of people because you get things done a lot quicker, and I presume it's a lot more enjoyable than playing solo. Now, I'm not going to be able to cover everything in this video, but I'll try and give you a brief sort of idea of how this game works and what certain things do. If you'd like to see some tutorials, comment down in the comment section below, let me know, and I will try and make some tutorials for new players and people who are struggling to get a grip of the game. So, what is the other feature that this game has? And the main feature, which is quite unique from various other survival games, is it has a ecosystem. And what I mean by ecosystem is I could chop this tree down right here, push it into the ocean, and that can contaminate the ocean. And what that means is that animals drinking from that water can get poisoned and they can inevitably die. The environment that we're in right now can be damaged, so all of these plants could start to wither away, the trees could start to wither and die and completely disappear, and you end up with a planet that's completely uninhabitable because you haven't managed to basically manage your pollution. And I'm not saying that, oh, you just cut down a tree and push it in the ocean and that basically ruins the planet. I'm saying cutting grass, cutting bushes, cutting loads of trees down can affect everything gets affected by everything. Even killing a load of animals, if you kill a load of animals, you can possibly wipe out an entire species. So you've got to be careful. It's a great concept, and I think as an educational tool it really works well for geography. That's if they manage to get this game 100% right, correct, and it gets finished. So I'm going to go over the HUD right now. Now the key you need to be using when playing this game is Tab. Tab basically allows you to have a mouse cursor which you can use to click various different elements of the HUD. So we'll start with the top right hand corner of the game. Now this is some kind of sundial, I'm not entirely sure what it does, but from my knowledge it basically just shows where the position of the sun is. Below that you've got a day counter. That basically means what day the game is currently on. So the servers that I've just created on my local machine has only just been started. So we're on day 1 and it's 11:55 AM in game time. Below that you've got various different coordinates, X, Y, Z, and then you've got a compass bearing, which is N. Well, not compass bearing, but compass position. So you've got northwest, north, northeast, etc, etc. Let's move down to the bottom right hand corner of the screen. So you've got a few buttons here. You've got a chat log, a backpack, graphs, laws, and a map. So let's talk about the chat. Now the chat here is basically a tool that you can use to basically talk with people in game via text chat, and it also gives you a rundown of the current ecosystem as well as the world's age, the population of the world's size, and as you can see the meteor is actually set right now to crash in 6 days and 24 hours, but apparently the standard sort of time is 30 days or 30 years in game, so that's going to crash in 6 days, but we probably won't be playing for that long. As you can see, there's various different stats on the ecosystem. Pretty cool feature. Then you've got a backpack. This backpack allows you to store up to 20 items. I believe you can have as many as you want, although I'm not entirely sure that there's a full amount of stack. I presume you can only carry so many property claim flags. Now, if you're wondering what a property claim flag is, it's a unique thing that basically allows you to put it down where you're building, and only you and people you add to this sort of flag are allowed to build in that area. So that's a pretty cool feature. Most of the people who are playing Eco are part of this friendly community, and they probably won't join a server and grief it just to put misfortune on you. So don't be encouraged or discouraged by like the feature that there is sort of flags which prevent people from doing certain things. Then you've got a graph section and laws. Now, these two buttons actually open web pages on the game's official site, where you can see, for example, graphs. You can see information on the world, plants, animals, etc. You can see how the ecosystem's doing. You can see it in a graph form. You know, is the ecosystem in a positive manner or is it in a negative manner, etc., etc. The law system basically allows you to basically create laws that people on your server have to live by, like you have to be inside a house at 6 p.m. every day or something like that, and I presume there's going to be more features, but as of right now I don't really know how that works. There's also the opportunity to basically, you can vote to whether you want someone to be a mayor, and that person has control over various different things. Of course, I don't know what that is yet, but I believe it's features that are currently being worked on, so it's not 100% worked out on. It's just an idea on paper, basically. Then you've got the map. As you can see, it's a spherical world. I don't know if you've noticed that already by the actual how the game actually looks. As you can see, we're on a very spherical map. Now, as it stands right now, the random generation is very limited. I'd love to see a whole host of different biomes with different effects, weather effects, etc., etc., as well as having a sort of fog of war where, for example, this little marker is me. It tells you my location. It tells you that I'm a politician for some reason, don't know why, and it tells you that I haven't got any skills. I'll get onto skills a little bit later on, but here I haven't explored this, but I'm basically shown what it looks like, which is crazy. I'd like to see some kind of option where you can toggle fog of war so that you can actually explore the planet you're on. I'd also like to see some bigger planets, but as it stands right now, it's a great start. So let's get rid of the world map. Down in the middle of the screen, you've got your HUD. This is your sort of active bar here from 1 to 0, and basically you put items in that bar, you click the number, and then you can use that item like a pickaxe, a shovel, bow and arrow, etc. This is a carrying slot. Basically, when you are like gathering resources, for example logs, you can only carry up to a maximum of, I believe, 5. I presume there's other ways to carry more, but as it stands right now, the only way to store more and carry more is to build some form of transport, i.e. a cart or some vehicle that you can put the various different resources in to take to wherever you're building or whatever you're doing with those resources. But as of right now, you can only carry 5 of wooden logs and I believe 5 of anything else. Here we've got a nutrition bar. As you can see, there's various different nutrients. You've got carbs, protein, fat, vitamins, and then there's a balance multiplier. Now in this game, when you do actions, for example, gathering resources like cutting wood, mining, digging up things, you use calories. So you need to eat to get more calories to do more activities. Now also, this food and nutrient system actually feeds into the skill system with skill points. You need to eat in order to be able to gain more skill points. I believe there is sort of something that affects skill points based on what you're actually doing, whether that's gathering resources, etc., etc., but it's not really a flushed out system yet. I don't think there's all that much information on it, but my basic understanding of it is if you eat well and you have a balanced diet in this, you'll gain more skill points a lot quicker. And as you can see, it says nutrients is 0.8 daily skill points, so I get 0.8, so not even a point yet. But yeah, when you first start out the game, you get 4 skill points. So let's have a look at the skill tree. There are what is classed as basic skills and advanced skills. Now you only start with 3 basic skill tiers. You've got survival, research, and civics. Now for the advanced tiers, you do need to go on research, and you need to create a basic research table where you research a book, and then you basically tear up the book. It gives you a piece of paper, and then you right click on that piece of paper, and then you learn another basic skill. Well, technically it's classed as an advanced skill, but you learn another tier like carpeting, cooking, I believe it is, not baking but cooking, and then you'll have various different skills on that. So let's go through the basic skills. Now when you first start out, you want to be looking at survival. Now my sort of go-to guide and what I've seen a lot of people do is go 1 in lodging, which gives you an axe and allows you to cut trees and allows you to build a house, and then put 2 skill points into logging yield and logging speed. What this does for logging yield means you get more logs from falling trees, and logging speed allows you to cut down and log trees a lot faster. So I'm going to put a skill point in logging, which gives me an axe in the hotbar icon number 1, and then I'm going to put a skill point into logging yield and logging speed. Fairly simple. Now we're left with 1 skill point. Now this is what you need to invest it in. You need to invest it in gathering to gain food. If you don't do that, you're probably going to end up dying. Well, not really dying, because you can't die in this yet, as of yet, but you need this in order to actually progress with the game. Now let me show you. So for example, you see these bits of grass here. I can go over to them with this scythe and I can cut them in the hopes that I will get some kind of seed or flower that is edible. So if I press tab now, I've got myself some Camus bulb. As you can see, it gives me 30 carbs, 15 fat, 15 vitamins, and gives me 120 calories. And it takes apparently 13 hours to grow. Now if I right click that, I've ate one. So I'm going to right click a few, eat them, and as you can see, various little bars here have increased. And as you can see, I've now got a nutrients daily skill point increase, so I'm going to definitely get a skill point when day 2 rolls around. Now as you can see, it's also increased my calories, so now I can do a lot more and not have to worry about losing energy. Now let's cut down a tree and basically try and gather some resources. So because we've actually got the wood cutting axe, the sort of lumbering skill, and we've got the 2 upgrades for it, it now is a lot easier to cut down trees. Now you notice how these branches snapped off. In some cases you will have branches that are attached to the tree and you will need to cut them off. Now when I actually went up to the tree, I don't know if you noticed this, and I'll have to try and show you here, but it's green, which means I can interact with it and cut it down. Now that I've actually cut it down, you'll see that it's yellow. You see it's got a yellow line around it. Now if I cut it, you can see it's still yellow. Now if I cut it again, you can see it's green. It split it up into parts which are now pickable, and I can pick this up. Now unfortunately you can only carry, like I said, a maximum of 5, and that log only gives me, or that sort of segment of tree only gives me 3 logs. Now you can place them down and build a sort of a rudimentary hut or whatever you want to try and build, but as it stands right now, there aren't all that many things you can store stuff in, apart from a few. I think a research table or crafting table is a good thing to use as a starting sort of thing to store stuff in, and I believe also something else that's useful is an actual chest, but you need to spend skill points in order to actually unlock a chest, which is kind of crazy, which eventually that then can be crafted using a crafting table. It's quite complicated and requires a tutorial in order to explain how it works properly. Now with that being said, this video is getting very, very long. I was aiming for a 10-minute video, but I'm basically pushing 15 minutes right now. So yeah, Eco is an interesting open world survival game. It's got a lot of potential. I really like all the systems that have been implemented so far, and I can't wait to see future updates. Of course, if you'd like to check this game out, there's a link in the description below. If you'd like some tutorials, then comment down in the comment section below suggesting some tutorials I should do. I think I will take a look at the skill system, because that is by far the most complicated thing in the game, and it's the thing that drives the game forward. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in my next video.